right, everyone, this is Rick Sapio, and welcome to the BFS Members Only Mindset Podcast. I've been working on these for almost 10 years now, and I'm starting to use the term podcast instead of webinar. It's hard for me to get used to that. As you know, we believe that being an entrepreneur and creating value is one of the purest forms of self-expression and fulfillment in the world. One of our objectives is for you to be the best entrepreneur and business person that you could possibly be. And we want you to have the freedom to think this way. You know, it saddens me to know that a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are overstressed. They fill their schedules with the latest and greatest of everything, whether it's technology or material goods, overcommitment, and all of those things. And what we've learned is that people that embrace simplicity, probability, and leverage are the most fulfilled. And we want to stress that over and over and over. Since this is a mindset webinar, we want to help you with your mindset. Our brand promise as a company is more time, more money, and better relationships. So hopefully as a result of this podcast, you'll get that. We have three legs of the BFS stool when it comes to what we teach. We teach principles and tactics, we teach mindset, and we teach financial success. And we believe that you have to have all three of those taken care of for you to have all-around success and community. And so we've created this program around community. That's why we encourage everybody to be in a weekly accountability group. I talked to a close friend of mine yesterday. His name is Ash, and he didn't believe in accountability groups, and now he's in 2 weekly accountability groups, and he says it's absolutely changed his life. So growth rarely happens in isolation. You need to get out in community. You need to come to our events twice a year. We've got our 16th Business Finishing School live event in Dallas coming up soon, so I'm excited about that. All right. Question for you. Is your mind full or are you mindful? And mindful is about being conscious of what you're focused on and what you're doing and not having the world dictate for you what happens. It's the distinction I use with my kids. You're either consuming or you're creating. It's impossible to do both. So if you're watching a TV show or you're watching Netflix or you're on social media, you are a consumer. You're consuming stuff. If you're writing a book or creating a speech or building a business or coming up with a business plan or creating a relationship with somebody, that's when it's you generating or creating. So I believe mindful and mindfulness goes along with creating, and mindful, which is 2 separate words. Mindful, your mind is filled with worries and distractions and technology and all those things. Not that they're bad things, but would you rather have your mind full of stuff, or would you rather be mindful? And the whole purpose of this event, this thing that we do every month, is to have you be very conscious and mindful about what you're doing in your life. Are the things that you're doing, the relationships that you have, are they fully aligned with your values? Are they fully aligned with your purpose? Are they fully aligned with your catalyzing statement, your business frame, etc., or not? And when they're not, then you have the chaos and frustration and depression and all of those things. The topic of today's call is based on a quote that is near and dear to my heart. And it's really at the basis of everything that I talk about. And it goes back to my college yearbook quote, which I almost forgot about. And the quote in my high school yearbook said, "The reason the straight and narrow path is so narrow is because not enough people walk on it." And that, as a 17-year-old, that's what I came up with. Everybody else had like Rolling Stone quotes or Beatles lyrics or whatever was the du jour band of the day. But I was thinking about standing out. So the updated version of that quote for me at the age of 55, almost 40 years later, is don't be afraid of standing out. Be afraid of blending in. Let me repeat that. Don't be afraid of standing out. Be afraid of blending in. And as I look at society today, it reminds me of my ancient Rome studies. When you look at ancient Rome, a lot of people don't realize this, but back then they built over 400 colosseums around the Roman enterprise, all of their land holdings, which I think at the time was larger than any other of the holdings, the land holdings of any other government. It might have been the largest in history. They dominated most of the world at the time. But in order to keep the people at bay, to have them not think for themselves, they entertained them with gladiator fights, with killing people, with having animals get into these battles, with naval battles inside colosseums that they filled with water, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the people got used to the gore of watching these shows that the Roman government put on. But the Roman government put this on because they were selling people on blending in, on not being conscious of really creating their own life, of being a consumer and not a generator. Because if people really generated their own life, they would have said, wait a minute, this is a total and complete waste of time. They're doing this to control us. And I think today there is a massive emphasis on people blending in, on being on social media, on consuming Netflix, on consuming drugs and alcohol, on being involved in toxic relationships, not standing out. See, to me, the opposite of blending in and being a follower or a consumer is being a generator. And a generator has to take responsibility for their purpose. They have to take responsibility for their values. They have to take responsibility for their catalyzing statement. They have to take responsibility for everything that they've created in their life. You see, the common denominator with every single thing that happens around you, good or bad, is you. And it's the choices that you make. And so I think the first choice that all of us need to make is to decide to stand out, not blend in, to decide to embrace our purpose. If we don't know what our purpose is, if you don't have your purpose statement written out, stop this right now and take the time to peel away the onion and get to your purpose, because your purpose is inside of you. It is not something, as I've said many times, that's going to bang you over the head. All of us have a purpose. We may not know what it is consciously. That's why we have to do the work to look inside. But we all have a purpose. And I think it's important for every living human being to take time out of their life and consciously peel the onion and look inside. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What brings joy to me and to the world? One of the exercises in Business Finishing School that we have talked about since day one is the purpose exercise. And that is, make a list of all the things you're really good at. Then make a second list of all the things you absolutely love doing. Now keep in mind, there's some things that you're really good at, but you don't really like doing it. You know, so I'm really good, for example, at math. I'm really good at it, but I don't love doing it. I don't want to be a mathematician or a math teacher. So again, make a list of all the things you love doing, all the things you're really good at. And then the third list is make a list of the things that you know about that the world needs. What does the world really need? So now you're going to have 3 separate lists. And what you're going to find is there's a couple of items that you're really good at, that you love doing, and that the world needs. In other words, this particular thing is on all three lists. And if you do this exercise right, your purpose will emerge, because your purpose is something that is on all three lists. And when I did this exercise a really long time ago, what I found was my purpose is inspiring entrepreneurship in others. I love doing it. I'm doing it right now with you. I'm really good at it, and the world needs it. I think the world needs more people to be entrepreneurs, and if I can inspire that in others, that makes the world a better place, and it makes me feel good about myself. So I'm encouraging you to do this exercise. Again, don't be afraid of standing out. Be afraid of blending in. Think about, what are you filling your mind and your time with? Are you consuming or are you generating? And you think about the toxic relationships and all the other things. Just get rid of it. Get rid of all of it. All right. In conclusion of this Mindset podcast, I want to talk about our event coming up. It's going to be September 27th to 29th in Dallas, Texas. If you go to businessfinishingschool.com, you can click on live events and you'll see all the information there. I'm really excited about the speaker lineup that we have put together. It's the best speaker lineup that we've ever had. It's our 16th event. Sweet 16, baby. I love the sound of that. And I love the fact that you're putting your time and attention on what's important. And what's important is you being more mindful and more conscious of exactly what thoughts are entering your head and exactly what you're doing with your time and your energy. Thank you very much, and have an awesome day.